Alrighty, I hope everyone's doing well today, and we are going to be talking about is Wuthering Waves PvP. So before we start that, I'd like to shout out the comment from the previous video because this is how they made it possible for this video to be made. And I'd also like to shout out my Discord because we're starting to grow, getting pretty big, and it's going to have all the information with Wuthering Waves and the fact that there's going to be a community to chill out, talk to. And there's also going to be a giveaway at the beginning. The day that Wuthering Waves releases is when I will be giving away multiple battle passes. So if you're subscribed and join the Discord, hey, you could win a battle pass on the day of release. So think of it like another pre-register, It's harmless and it's pretty fast. So going to the video, the short answer is simply no. I don't see a PvP coming to the Wuthering Waves like anytime soon. And the reason why I say that is because right now they're heavily working on the story. So they, I believe, made a 90% change to the story, which is impressive. Like in CBT 1 and CBT 2, players noticed that the gameplay was good, but the story was kind of lacking. So it might have been generic, something similar to other games. So they made a complete rework. So they changed 90% of the story mode just so that the players could be more hooked into the story. So yeah, that's one of the reasons why. And other negative things about having a PvP right away means that it forces players to go for meta characters instead of the characters that you want to play for. And imagine, you get into a game that you want to play the character, that one specific character, but he or she turns out to be extremely bad. It's kind of like, it discourages you from playing the game, because if the game is oriented around PvP, of course people are going to tell you, hey, why did you go for that character? That's not a good character. You should have gone for the meta character. So I can see why Wuthering Waves does not want to have something like that at the beginning. They can definitely have that in the future, where they implement some sort of like PvP game mode or whatnot, which we'll talk about in the future. But for now, I don't see that, because another fact is that whales would also be the most dominant in this game. It's a simple fact. The more you pay, the better eidolons you get, or at least I'm using the reference from Honkai Star Rail. But simply, the better your characters become by paying, and that's just how it is in gacha games. So it also potentially lowers the values for newer characters. As we know in Genshin Impact and other gacha games, power creeping, and even in other games too, besides gacha, power creeping has been quite normal, and the fact that newer characters will always have some sort of like up advantage that other older characters do not. So I don't think we need to worry about that specifically in Kuro games, because they, from what I've seen in previous games, actually buff the older characters and make them viable, so that you don't have to worry about your favorite character becoming obsolete, because they won't. If they do, then they'll just get buffed. So simple as that. And I also see other, while there are negatives, there are also benefits. So if they do include a PvP, then I could see an increase in strategy. Strategy is always good. It makes the game more interesting. And there's also a possibility for a meta change. So if the meta changes because of the fact that the meta was presumably obsolete, or not necessarily obsolete, but like stagnant, and it would stay the same the whole time, then this new game mode or this new PvP factor will definitely change the meta, and it will make it more flexible, more interesting to play. But that's only considering if the meta was to be stagnant. Going about the long answer, where there might be a PvP, I believe Cynthia Hembry from the previous comment also talked about how there's going to be a Warzone adjacent like game. So if you don't know about Warzone, it's kind of like Fortnite, where there's like a battle royale system, and you essentially compete against each other, against real players, and you try to go for the number one spot. So Uh, they Cynthia Hembry said that there's going to be something like that in the future. So if that is true, then I would probably predict to be like the player pool to be maybe 20 max. I don't really see a gacha game having like 100 player pool for a battle royale. You know, I could be wrong. I could definitely be wrong, but I don't see that happening anytime soon. If that happens, I mean, this game would be packed with so many game modes to the point where like you don't need to play any other game. But yeah, I mean, if that's the case, then hey, they're not gonna make it right now, but they will, if they do that, implement it in the future. So be on the lookout for that. And yeah, I think that's everything that needs to be talked about. If there's anything I missed or any new information, it's most likely going to be addressed in the Discord. So please join the Discord. The pre-registration rewards. It'll be pretty nice, and we'll set our reminders and whatnot for that too. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and we'll see you later. Peace.